so powerful, why the Force seems to be in such a, I guess, chaos, is that, the Jedi are gone, the clones have killed them all, the galaxy has never really had a point where this giant purge has taken all of its Force users. So, if the Force is...
this is the theory, though, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a theory.
This is a theory in the Star Wars universe that, I mean, that's why there's only two Siths.
Yeah.
The power of the dark side is divided.
Yeah. But, whenever you fight Coda in that first game, Coda has these amazing abilities. I mean, he rips his that sky hook out of the sky, I mean, I think the idea is that, it's been with us since Empire Strikes Back. Yoda says size matters not. You can go bigger and bigger and bigger. It doesn't matter. It gets to the point where, in an expanded universe, we see planets being destroyed by the Force.
Yeah, we see, Luke, he pushes all this...
The Starfleet out of the space?
Yeah. When does he do that?
I believe that it was Luke and the Jedi students at the Yavin 4 Praxium push out a fleet from the Yavin system that's trying to destroy.
I forgot we see KOTOR, we see Darth Nihilus, and he devours planets, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's canon, you know what I mean? And it's crazy.
I mean, it's canon to people that accept it. A lot of people are just,
Well, those people are...
I don't like the movies. Which, if you're talking about a game, then I guess that doesn't really matter.
No.
Yeah.
But, getting back to it, I mean, personally, I think that the powers, they're a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little over the top, but I think it's kind of handled in a way where, like, the game designers just kind of throw you a wink and, like, just go with it,
Yeah. This is what just... a sweet, really powerful Jedi. Hayden Blackman said, quote unquote. We want what a bad Jedi feels like. You know what I mean? So, that's how I feel when I play the game. Like, I almost wonder, like, how can these guys ever lose? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's really the first game where a lot of people when they play the Star Wars games, the fantasy is that you're swinging a lightsaber and you're wielding that weapon, but in these games it almost feels like the lightsabers kind of take a
backseat to the Force,
the sheer power of the Force.
Yeah, it's much,
which I really like. It's very unique. It hasn't been done before Force Unleashed.
Yeah,
and greatly improved in Force Unleashed 2.
Yeah. Moving on more towards the Force Unleashed 2. Okay, we know what happens at the end of Force Unleashed 1. Aaron, you want to sum us up on that?
Well, with Force Unleashed 1, Vader sends off his apprentice. He, tries to hunt down the remaining Jedi.
Yeah, and his apprentice was the son of a Jedi he killed. He took him when he was a little boy.
Found him on Kashyyyk, which is, the Wookiee home planet. He hunts down all these different Jedi and finds Coda as one.
Just to interrupt that, how good is it to start out a game where you play as Darth Vader
you
just kill Wookiee? You kill Chewie.
Yeah, I tell you,
I felt bad almost killing Chewie, but man, it felt so good.
You're just picking him up and throwing him. And
well, I mean, what I did, I felt so bad. Like when I was picking up with the Force, I tried to set them down very nicely. Just try to run. There's no run button for Vader.
There's no run for Vader. He only walks.
He's so sweet. He doesn't even run. He can't run.
He can't.
Lord Vader doesn't.
He's
run.
faster if he jumps. So you just keep jumping. You move faster than if you just walk around. Yeah. But after
what a powerful scene. I really felt
Vader?
It was playing The Fall of Anakin. I think that's what the song's called. He's where is your master? You know what I mean? You killed my master years ago. The dark side has clouded your mind. And he says, well, now prepare to share his fate. Then like Eric said earlier, the little Star Killer is like 5 or 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He rips Vader's lightsaber out of his hand. And he's like a son. Yeah. And he crushes his father with his fist. Using the Force.
Yeah.
He trains him.
The son doesn't realize what's really going on.
And then raises him in darkness.
The Imperials show up, and then Vader kills the Imperial stormtroopers and whatnot, so that no one knows this.
The idea is that this is a secret apprentice, is a secret from enemies of the Empire and the Empire itself, the Emperor himself.
Everybody, like no one is supposed to know of this guy. And at one point, I guess the Emperor finds out. He follows Starkiller supposedly, and
I read different things in this. Okay, did the Emperor know the entire time, or did he find out? Then
personally,
he just went, let's do this now instead.
See, I don't think the Emperor knew the entire time.
I don't think he did.
The idea is that the Sith always betray themselves. Throughout the course of the EU, the Emperor and Vader each have a ton of different apprentices. The rule of two is definitely broken a lot during these two Sith Lords' reign or whatever, but.
Already building up to Vader, he's already had Darth Maul, he's already had Count Dooku, It's just
well, yeah, but man, these are replacements. Like I'm saying, like we know about Mara Jade, who ends up marrying Luke Skywalker. That was the Emperor's hand. She received training from the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
You could call her an apprentice.
Yeah.
Vader himself wanted Luke to help him destroy the Emperor. He couldn't do it himself. He needed his son.
Yeah, there's a couple other. I mean, I can't remember the names of them. There's a couple other people he had too as well.
Yeah. And that is what Vader was telling Starkiller that he was there for, to help him destroy the Emperor.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that Vader was doing something with that kid to be able to destroy the Emperor.
But then he realized he couldn't.
Yeah.
He the Sith. He's cunning. He changed his plans.
Yeah, but as cunning as Vader is, Palpatine is way more.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he manipulated two sides of a war during.
Yeah. So Palpatine finds out about this, and they hatch this plan to root out the dissidents in the Senate.
So basically, when he was rebuilt, okay, and and Vader's secret.
By he, you mean Starkiller?
Yeah. When Starkiller was rebuilt after Palpatine Vader finds out about Starkiller in the first one and says, Vader, kill him.
Yeah.
Vader hasn't rebuilt. Obviously, Palpatine knows about that. Though.
Well, yeah, that's the part of the plan. Yes.
They come up with the plan afterwards. I assume is what I think.
Yeah.
And then send him on his mission to actually.
Yeah, and he's Starkiller still believes he sends Starkiller to
Starkiller
to seek out the enemies, the Emperor's enemies. Rebels and dissidents. He says, and basically their plan is to lure these people out so Vader and the Emperor know who they are, so they can destroy the threat to the Republic. I mean, to the galaxy.
What Vader tells Starkiller is that he wants to do this to distract the Emperor.
Yeah.
But what really goes down is that Palpatine and Vader are both wanting to root out the rebels.
Yeah. And it's such a good plan. Hayden Blackman, he's got critics, but I think he's great.
Yeah, and it is great, but it backfires because not only do they not kill the rebels, they actually make them building the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah,
because they gather up like Organa and
Mon Mothma,
Bel Iblis from Corellia, who has no lines.
General Coda still with them and everything, and
General Coda,
and they all build up and they form the actual what becomes the Alliance.
Like Starkiller dies in the first game, and his sacrifice inspires the rebels. And they use his family crest as a symbol.
Yeah. And Starkiller is gone forever.
Yeah, or so you think.
So you think.
And that's
Force Unleashed 2.
That's where it ends. So then we get into Force Unleashed 2. And it's just...
Wow.
See, I wasn't even expecting a Force Unleashed 2.
Well,
definitely. I mean, whenever I saw... When I saw that they were doing a Force Unleashed 2 and here's the trailer, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I wonder if is it going to be a new character? Is it going to be the different style of the Force Unleashed, but different time?
Different time period, yeah. I thought that was...
But no, you hear Vader, you hear Yoda, and then Starkiller puts down his hood, and you're definitely surprised. How is this possible? Starkiller is dead.
Yeah, at first I kind of thought, like, oh, how they bring it back and what happened, you know what I mean? But, I'm glad. I mean, the way they brought him back, I think I really liked. I thought it was cool, like when I saw the trailer, I went crazy.
Yeah, it was. I mean, a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people loved it. I definitely loved it.
Yeah, I did.
Very excited.
Well, getting into the story of Force Unleashed 2, I mean, it starts off on Kamino, which, I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan, everyone knows the Kaminos, they're in charge of cloning.
Yeah, so, that's where the Republic Army, the Grand Army, cloners. Kamino Saber Dart.
But what do you guys?
Hey, old buddy.
What do you guys think of the thought of being able to clone Starkiller? I mean, a lot of people have controversy on,
Well, here's the thing.
Yes, no.
Yeah, you're right. I'm explaining to the audience. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. You play Starkiller, and the story is like he's not sure if he is a clone or if he isn't. Vader told him you are a clone, but it's kind of been established in Star Wars canon. Even General Coda says in the game,
you can't clone Jedi.
You can't clone a Jedi. You clone the body, but you can't clone the Force.
This isn't the first time in Star Wars that people have tried to clone Jedi. I mean, it's happened in the Thrawn trilogy. It happens. In a lot of different plaplaces, but the idea is that
Luke Skywalker, right?
Yeah, but your clones, when you try to clone them, they go mad from. I'm not sure exactly what's called, clone madness or whatever, but that's addressed. The idea is that this clone is imperfect and that is going mad through, this imperfect cloning process.
Yeah.
So, but is that Vader telling them that he's suffering clone madness, or is that the original Starkiller
that's the thing.
Manipulated to thinking that he's a clone?
Like the game opens on Kamino and Vader goes to Starkiller, and basically Starkiller's been isolation for 13 days. And it kind of, it just says, Starkiller, during his training, he has all these visions, memories. Vader calls them memories of a dead man. Side effects of the cloning process. They're supposed to fade in time.
My favorite line during that whole thing is when Starkiller says about the Force gives him power. And, Vader just,
The Force?
Yeah. And then Starkiller's like, dark side, my master. I just love how he's like, the Force. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you see how much, and that just, for me, I just see how much Vader's character, he went from Anakin, he's the greatest, a kind of guy you would like, sacrifices his life to save his friends, does all these things. He goes to Vader, like the dark side, of the Force.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great character moments. I think, the first game, kind of like Episode 4, it had a better epic story. But, in Episode 5 didn't try to be an epic story. It tried to be a personal story. And, I think The Force Unleashed 2, I don't think it's a better epic story. I think it's a better personal story. I think there's moments in it, that are better. You know what I mean?
It's more focused on this Starkiller.
Yeah, just pretty much Starkiller. It's not as epic, but it doesn't try to be as epic.
Whether he's a clone or he's not a clone, it's still focused on this Starkiller and what he's after and what what he's trying to do and achieve.
And it's really cool because, I don't know if he is a clone. You know what I mean? When I play the game, I kind of feel like I kind of lean towards more he's a clone. Only Coda in a game says no one can clone a Jedi. But they kind of lead you to believe that he is a clone because it shows other clones, you know what I mean? But they're all mad. You know what I mean? Starkiller that you play as, he's not mad yet. What I think is maybe he's somehow the original Starkiller, that they revived him somehow.
Well, I mean, they brought him back once. What stops him from bringing him back again?
Yeah, another theory is
just rebuilding him again.
Another theory is after the Emperor discovered Starkiller, Vader's betrayal in the first game, and he made Vader quote unquote kill him. It showed it right after that cutscene. It showed his body being retrieved from space from some kind of droid. Then he wakes up at our operating table and Vader says, I brought you here to be rebuilt. You know what I mean?
But yeah.
So some people think he was a clone. That was a clone. You know what I mean? Right then.
It's made more clear in the book where it says that Starkiller's all of his old scars were gone, even before. No, not the scars that when he had the saber through his chest, but all of them, from his previous battles. So, does that mean that this healing process healed those scars, or does he have a whole new body? Is he a whole new person?
Yeah, because he has memories. You know what I mean? He has memories, and all his experiences with Juno, Vader's betrayal, with General Kota.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's such an exciting story. So
yeah, that's a theory, but as of right now, in light of the game and having already finished the second one, I kind of feel like this is the original Starkiller. Then perhaps he was just rebuilt in that first game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of moving away from the theory that was a clone.
Yeah.
Something I want to make sure we mention too is with Force Unleashed. There's different sides of the whole story. There's the game. There's also a graphic novel.
Yeah,
and a book, right?
Sean, penned by Sean Williams, I think. Okay, but basically, the multimedia, the first game, from what I heard, it was all pretty much the same. I read the graphic novel. I didn't read the book. I played the game. I loved it. The graphic novel I thought was really good, but it's exactly like the game.
But they all told the same story.
Yeah, but the second,
they each had a little bit the graphic novel told the story through Proxy's point of view. He's telling the story. The beginning of the...
it's pretty much the same as the game,
It's pretty much the same story, yeah. This time around, they kind of changed it around.
This time around, it's like the multimedia of the Shadows of the Empire in, 96 or something?
Which was
94?
definitely the model
around
for that
64
kind of
time.
Yeah, we had the graphic novel, which was... wasn't that from... whose point of view was that?
For Force Unleashed?
Shizor?
For...
No, for Shadows of the Empire. The graphic... the game was about Dash Rendar. The book was about, the classic characters.
The graphic novel was kind of just... it kind of felt like cut scenes from the book, almost. Some scenes were from the book, and some scenes weren't in it at all. They were just kind of off-screen.
Yeah.
It was definitely... It's definitely a good model to go for.
But the thing is, all together, they were strong when they complemented each other.
Yeah.
This is the way with the Force Unleashed too. I have a better appreciation for the game now that I've read the graphic novel, which is from Boba Fett's point of view. Shows another side of him That's also penned by Hayden Blackman. You know, I thought was really great. You know, a lot of cool character